Hi, fourth graders. We're going to continue discussing ways to classify triangles, and today we're going to look at how to classify triangles by looking at their sides. So we're going to talk about 3 words today you probably haven't heard, but trust me, it's going to be easy breezy. So are you ready? Here we go. The first triangle we're going to talk about is called a scalene triangle. Will you say that with me? Scalene triangle. I know, it's kind of a funny sounding word. Well, let me tell you about a scalene triangle. In a scalene triangle, no sides are the same length. So just think about what that's going to look like. If no sides are the same, let me fix that. No sides are the same length. So think about in your head what that's going to look like. Am I going to have 2 sides that are the same? No, remember, no sides are the same. So let's just say that side is 3, this one is 4, and this one is 5. We know this is let me fix my 5 now. We know this is a scalene triangle because what do you know about the sides? You got it. No sides are the same length. So that makes this a scalene triangle. So, not too hard, is it? Scalene triangle, no sides are the same length. Scalene triangle, no sides are the same length. So, let's look at another way to classify a triangle. Whoops, didn't want to do that. All right, our next kind of triangle we're going to look at is called an isosceles triangle. Say that word with me, isosceles triangle. It's another kind of silly sounding word, but an isosceles triangle is a triangle that has at least 2 sides that are the same length. So an isosceles triangle, this is important to remember, at least 2 sides that are the same length. I want you to think for a second. What does it mean when it says at least 2 sides? Think about how many triangles. Think about how many sides a triangle has. So if at least 2 sides are the same length, let's think what that's going to look like. So what if I had a triangle like this? Okay, let me try my triangle again because that one was not very good. Okay, a little bit better. And I told you this is 3, and this is 4. Well, we know we said an isosceles triangle, that funny sounding word, isosceles triangle, at least 2 sides are the same length. So an isosceles triangle, at least 2 sides are the same length. All right, are you ready for the last one? This is one you're going to know. The minute you hear it, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. It's called an equilateral triangle. I want you to listen to that word for a minute. Equilateral triangle. Is there anything you hear in there that sounds familiar to you? Oh, great, you heard equal. Well, what do you think it's going to mean if it's an equilateral triangle? That's exactly right. And an equilateral triangle, just like you were thinking, all sides are the what? That's right, all sides are the same length. So those are very easy to identify because all the sides are the same length. So I might have a triangle that looks like this, and they told me all these sides had a length of 3. I know what? Well, all sides are the same length, so it has to be an equilateral triangle. Okay, one last thing. Let's think about equilateral and isosceles again. An isosceles, so we're going to look right here. An isosceles has at least 2 sides that are the same. So what do we know about a equilateral? All the sides are the same. So now let's think about this. If at least 2 have to be the same, well, when I look at an equilateral triangle, are at least 2 the same? They are, because I could say this one and this one. It just has to be at least 2. This one has 3, but that means equilateral triangles are also isosceles triangles. So I'm just going to write that down here for you to remember. Let me switch back to my color. All equilateral triangles. And remember, equilateral is all sides the same. Oh, too many L's. Got overly excited. All equilateral triangles are also isosceles triangles. So all equilateral triangles are also isosceles triangles. And we'll talk more about this because it is a little confusing. So all equilateral triangles are also isosceles triangles. Remember, isosceles has at least two sides the same. All right, guys, you did a great job. We've talked about several different ways to name and classify triangles, and we will continue on with that later. Have a great